Hi Coach, it's Ron Silico here. What I want to do in this video presentation today is talk about ways to attack and counter the four main ways that man-to-man defense, and zone defense for that matter, guards ball screens. We're going to talk about what to do when the defense hedges, they switch, they trap, and they go under. And there's different ways that people can do that, and there's different ways on the floor. But in essence, those are the four ways that you will see teams trying to defend that. So the first one I want to talk about is what to do in a hedge situation. That's what seems to be the most common. Teams believe in doing that defensively because the mindset when you're using a ball screen in large part is you're ball screening for someone that's got the capability and the skill set to turn the corner and drive to the basket, and you're trying to help that dribbler do that. So that's why the hedge has become so popular. Now, in a previous video, we talked about the importance of getting separation as the person setting the ball screen, getting separation from their defender to make that hedge really difficult, perhaps slow that defender down so they have to come a greater distance. But let's say in this situation, the defender's right on our offensive guy right now. There's not a lot of separation. So as the dribble comes this way, and the intention with the hedge is the big man's going to jump out, be big, slow the dribbler, and teams will either have this guard go under the screen or go over top, fight over the top of the screen. The hedge man waits till the guard gets back in place and then goes back to his man. There's a few different ways you can attack this, and you have to really think about all of them in terms of being successful. The first one you could do is, as this defender leaves the screener to jump out, you can just slip to the basket. Maybe sometimes it's just a slip to this area here. Maybe if it's a shooter, you're doing a shallow cut, or you're going all the way to the basket, but you're just releasing that screen and you're making a movement based on your capabilities. As we've talked about in other videos, our other post player is always working opposite the screen. So if he sees this person roll all the way to the bucket, he's coming up for a reversal. If he goes shallow or goes to the high post, that player's staying low, but they're always working opposite. So the first way you could beat the hedge is slip it. Second thing you do, and you see this a lot, I know a lot of coaches I've heard talk about this, is they will try and drive right off that outside hip. And I mean the outside hip because the defender is usually jumping out sideways in the hedge. Drive off that outside hip and try and turn the corner, or try and drive off that hip in a way to make contact and try and draw a foul on the big man. Big men pick up a lot of fouls if they're aggressive hedgers because they come out and they're not set. They're leaning one way, or they're still sliding. And you'll see a guard just clip them right on the side, and the defense will get called for the foul. So that's another strategy, is to attack that outside hip. Another thing that great guards really do to stifle this is they will split it. So whether the guard goes under or over, if the dribbler can get between the defenders, just do a little quick low crossover, split, and attack. The last thing that you could do to counter that is, as this defender, if they're fighting over the screen or go under it, the dribbler can stop and reverse, or crab dribble and reverse, and the screener can come back then on this side and re-screen, in essence, to get the defender. And those are great strategies against a hedge or a trap. I don't want to understate the importance of the post working opposite, because not only for spacing, in this scenario, whether it's a hedge or a trap, if the screener goes to the basket and there's a situation where the ball is double teamed and the guy picks up his dribble, we need this player coming out not only to create spacing, but to have ball reversal. Now, if this post stays on the perimeter and slides somewhere after the screen, then we have this person moving in the low post trying to post up and make themselves available as an outlet for the ball in the low post. So similar strategies for the hedge and the trap. Big key is the dribbler has to take at least 2 dribbles. So you really have to practice this 2-on-2, 3-on-3. Getting those ball handlers comfortable dribbling in traffic and keeping their dribble alive. The situation may be the best thing that they could do is stretch the defense out. If this player rolls to the basket, this player's moved over to help. There's a trap or there's a hedge. And then we've got quick ball reversal here. If this defender cheats up, perhaps a skip pass, or we hit the post. We can't have a turnover on this reversal. Hit the post, and then they reverse it to the corner man for the jump shot. Also, if this player that's guarding this guy in the corner is cheating up, we're looking to hit the guy in the corner for the jump shot or the shot fake and drive. So those are some strategies against the hedge or the trap. Switch is also a very common tactic. Very common against teams that have similar sized players and athletes. And I think you want to look at mismatches in terms of in that regard on size, strength, athletic ability. Perhaps you could post up with your screener, especially if it's a big on little situation. And you got a little man guarding a big man. So if this is a big post, you can have the dribbler back his dribble out, attack and make a play. You have the screener roll and post to the bucket, trying to pin that little guard. So there's a lot of things you could do with the switch. Really looking for mismatches. You can also run a lot of weave action on the perimeter to try and get the dribble penetration that way as well. The last one is under, and a lot of the tactics very similar against the hedge. So perhaps it's a hard hedge or maybe not, depending on what this defender does. If the defender stays back and they both are under the screen, maybe we're looking at a jump shot, try and turn the corner and attack the big. Or that option we talked about earlier, have this post player roll and then rescreen and then take the dribble back, rather than trying to attack 2 guys moving in one direction, stop, reverse, and go back the other way. So those are some strategies to attack the 4 main tactics against ball screens: the hedge, the switch, the trap, and the under. A lot more common move that's being seen lately is that rescreen on the perimeter. And just like we talked about in other videos about off-ball screens, if you could screen and rescreen, maybe you miss the first time or don't get a good piece, but you're able to the second time. Same thing with the ball screen. Don't be afraid to teach patience, keep the dribble alive, screen and rescreen. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.